Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. When I started to build CropConex, I wanted to create a solution that supports sustainability across our agricultural supply chains. And economic sustainability is a main component in thinking about how we create a more supportive agricultural system across the board and engage all stakeholders within that economic sustainability conversation piece. And when you start to approach technology through the lens of creating economic sustainability, you start to look at, well, what are the levers I can really pull to affect and influence the economic distribution across the supply chain? Now, you might see, for one hand, increasing the yield, being able to increase the economic value that the producer is able to capture. You might also be able to say increasing the price of the products that they're selling as one of those levers to be able to pull on for economic value. And the other one is decreasing costs. And those costs can actually come at what are the costs at the inputs of the farm level, and what are the costs of the logistics because of either the number of people involved or the data silos and inefficiencies that you see in the supply chain. We actually see that sometimes up to 40% of the export value of the product is absorbed in logistics inefficiencies. So when you start to think about, okay, well, how can we actually create better efficient supply chains, look at improving the logistics and the transfer of the coffee from end to end, you can then reduce those costs and redistribute it across the supply chain and back to the producers. And so if you then start to think about, well, how do you reduce the costs across the supply chain? Data is actually really that key to unlocking the economic potential. Data visibility allows you to do a number of things across the supply chain with logistics. One is it allows you to potentially reduce the delays. It increases your access to then be able to optimize your trade routes. It also allows for opportunities for automation, which can reduce the cost for the human capacity or human labor involved in the supply chain. And then it also provides better risk mitigation. So if you can make informed decisions, you can also get in front of some of the costs that we're seeing now play out in the supply chains. And so in thinking about data being this fundamental and core component of being able to increase efficiencies, reduce some of the data silos, increase the coordination from end to end, the only way that we're going to get true data visibility is if we have a fully engaged supply chain, and that data is coming from all of the stakeholders across the board. So in the final component of thinking through data visibility, better economics across the supply chain, I think one of the things that I find most important in including is that in creating technology where we're looking at better supporting the supply chain, creating technology that is accessible to everyone involved, accessible to producers at the farm level, accessible to the logistics providers themselves. That accessibility is what allows for the data collection, the data visibility, and the traceability that will lead to reducing those costs in logistics.